What's happening, Texit Coin miners? Bobby Gray here, back in Texas, joining you live from Texit Coin studio in beautiful McKinney, Texas. Glad to be home. I got to be honest, it was a great trip, but 3 weeks might be a little too long to be on the road. I don't know about you guys. Hopefully, there's some other miners and Freedom Field Trippers that are joining us here on tonight's call that are as excited about jet lag as I am. It's like the flu, man. So the good news is we're back. The bad news is that we've got jet lag day one here to to kick off our Tuesday night call. Who else are we supposed to promote? I don't even remember who works here anymore. I got Kristen,
Yep.
McKaylin.
Yep.
I
Kyle.
got who else? Paige. Is
Kyle
Paige
should be
out there?
Kyle should be
Paige, you want to
floating
throw
out
a
there.
hand up?
We got Kyle,
MaryAnne.
MaryAnne, Tim, Paige.
MaryAnne, Tim. Tim might be dipping out for tonight's call.
We lost him to the Shanghai surprise.
It affects us all different.
Put it this way, when Tim was leaving today, he got in the R8 and he goes, "This car's too low for me to drive in right now." So we had to give him the BMW.
I got to keep my orifice above eye level for the protection of myself and other people on the
I had
road.
to fill his paperwork out and everything. I was like, just go home. Like, I got you.
All right. Well, with all fun and games set aside, it's an important call for tonight. I'm sure we've got a lot to go over. Here's my list. I don't know if you guys brought your list. My list is entitled "The Sky is Falling." Look, we promised you guys the truth. We told you you wouldn't always want to hear it. It might not always be good. But in the interest of transparency, we got to cover everything, good and bad. And there's plenty of bad to discuss today. We'll get into that in just the next few minutes. Are we forgetting anyone else on tonight's call? I got Kristen, MaryAnne, McKaylin.
Did you find
Paige.
Kyle?
Meet Kyle.
Is Kyle joining us here?
Yeah.
Those two.
That's right. Kyle, I asked Kyle earlier to join us on tonight's call. All right, well, let's get into it. It's 6:03. Thanks so much again, everyone, for joining us. Rob, you sent me an agenda or at least a specific order for tonight's call.
Yes,
Are we
sir.
ready to dive right in and begin with McKaylin?
Yes. First and foremost, always.
Yes.
First and possibly
I don't really
the best
have
of
that.
us.
I don't really have that many updates, but last week we did 2,752 new miners. We did 7.22 million in sales. My team is doing great on staying on top of emails. Around lunchtime, they've emptied out the whole entire thing, and then once we come back from lunch, obviously there's a little bit more. But our customer service team is doing a fantastic job.
So hold on.
And last
Let me ask you a
thing,
couple questions real quick. First of all, are you considering yourself to be head of customer service and enrollment these days?
right now, yes.
Right now, yes. Okay. So both of those things are falling under your area of expertise, and you're telling us that we're doing a good job in both those. So nobody should be messaging me right now saying things like, "I sent 68,000 emails, no response."
Unless they're still emailing on help desk, which I don't know why they would still be doing that.
Yeah, and let's just put a reminder out there real quick that we have a new system. It's built through ZenDesk, not Help Desk. As far as I'm concerned, the systems are all very similar. The bells and whistles are a little bit different, but we've got ZenDesk. We've got a ZenDesk consultant that's helping us establish business rules for customer service, expediency, resolution expediency. McKaylin's happy with it, which is probably what's most important, but the system is working. And so if you're using the system the way that we want you to, from what it sounds like, we're handling things in a fastish manner, same day, next day.
Yeah, also was gonna say we do have a few team support people that are a little bit confused on the ZenDesk, and so they've been having people email them too, but I just want to put it out there, like, you're not supposed to be emailing anybody. Like, you're not supposed to be emailing a team support person, you're not supposed to be emailing a blockchain mint, one of us, our emails. You're supposed to be creating a ticket in your dashboard. That is how
Got
you
it.
communicate with us, and that's how we will get to you.
Yeah, guys, and that's really important because we have to establish our official communication channels. If you go through those channels, you know that you're connecting with somebody at the office that's authorized to act on our behalf, authorized to give you payment information. If you go through the YOLO door, whatever door that may be, whether it's for service or support or for questions or whatever, we get into the unknown, and we already know that the unknown is dangerous, scary, messy, full of scams and all kinds of crazy stuff. So if you want to ensure a high probability that you're dealing with somebody that's on our team the right way, you got to go through the channels that we've established.
Yes. And then my last thing was just we're working on new coin activation in the system.
So tell me more about that real quick. What does that look like?
So there's two ways he's doing it. I've explained what kind of like what we need it to look like and what it needs to do. Basically, it sums it up to where if you are having to be mailed a coin, you will still be getting daily rewards as soon as your sale is created, but those rewards are not activated on your cold storage wallet until you actually receive that coin and put it into your dashboard or press a button that basically says activate, and then from there forward, the rewards are dumped
Okay.
on there and then paid out.
So let's summarize. The problem we've had in the past is that somebody signs up, we link a cold storage coin to that account, we put it in the mail, and we let go and we let UPS. And sometimes that doesn't end well.
Right.
Package gets lost, package shows delivered, customer says I never got it. Picked up by the neighbor, sister-in-law took it with her, Sheen purchases that came in, and it's gone. And so all of a sudden now the mine is paying out every day around 7 o'clock to a coin that you don't have in hand. And
And
that's
then we have to pay money out of our
obviously
pocket.
silly. It's silly that happens. If you get a new credit card, when the credit card shows up in the mail, the credit card's not already incurring new charges. Like you have to activate it first. It doesn't work until you activate it. There's a process that you go through. Now, what we don't want to do is we don't want to delay your accumulation of Texit Coin until you get that
Rewards.
coin in the mail and you like click the buttons and stuff. So we want
Right.
to escrow those coins. We want to kind of pre-hold them for you so that once your sale is in and your money's received and your sale goes in, you get the welcome email, you're in. Then a couple days or 2-3 weeks, if we get jammed up, you get the coin in the mail, you press the buttons, you click the thing, you activate it, and then everything that was escrowed from the time that you signed up to the time that you click that activation button gets dropped onto your cold storage wallet. I like
Right.
it. Some of you
And
may
we'll
ask,
have,
like,
and then once it's live, we'll obviously have an article over it, and it'll be in the new email, that the new welcome email goes out, so no one will be confused
yeah,
when the time comes.
yeah. So it seems pretty obvious to do it that way. The question then is like, well, why didn't we always do it that way? Because we're young, we're new, we're learning. We did it, the way that worked well for us in the beginning, and then we grew and we got to a point where we say that doesn't work so well anymore. Time for us to make an improvement, which is challenging, time consuming, expensive, but that's what we do. We have to continue improving. We're doing something that no one's ever done before. It's not easy, and we're going to make mistakes. We're going to learn from those mistakes. We're going to be upfront about the mistakes, the learning experiences. If we make the mistake, we're going to pay for it. If you make the mistake, that's on you. So we all have to be careful as we go through this learning experience, so that we make as few mistakes as possible. We fix those problems as soon as we find them, as quickly as we possibly can, and then we move forward. We were having a conversation with the managers earlier today about how cool it is that we're only at 14, 15%. Let me check the chart. Chart on the website shows that we are at less than 15%. And so imagine being involved in an organization that's in its early stages, that's made all of the mistakes possible before we get to 15% and to not go out of business. It's really good to learn. It's really good to improve. And it's really good to do all that stuff like before you get to the point where you're so big that a mistake has consequences that affect, so much of the organization that it puts you into a bad spot. And so we're learning these things now. We're getting these things fixed early. We're making improvements, not just so that we can do a better job for the remaining 85%, but so that we can build this template, this machine to work for us in phase 3. And we've talked about phase 3 before. We're not going to get too much into it right now, but learning and improving is the whole name of the game, because we're new at this. You guys are new to crypto. We're new to some of these basic concepts that we're dealing with. We've built the system from the ground up to do exactly what we want it to do, and we're able to make improvements as they're required. Anything else going on in the realm of enrollment and customer service we need to know about?
That's it.
How many Ranger support people are we up to at this point? Like 700?
24, 25, 26, 29. Like 34.
Wow. So first of all, that's a lot of money we're spending on support personnel that are there to help ease that customer service burden, but also make it so that the people that are really doing a lot to help us build and grow don't have to worry about the paperwork, the administrative side. They can spend more time helping their teams and helping the people that they sponsor and helping everyone else that they're bringing into the organization be successful. So that's one of the ways that we give back, is in Ranger support personnel, and we're up to 34 of them so far. 34. Great job. Okay. If that's it, thank you, McKaylin. I appreciate that. That was much longer than a 3-minute update, but I think we covered a lot of important things.
Thank you.
Who's next?
We have the lovely and talented Kristen.
Kristen got in trouble. Kristen got in trouble.
Stop. I did not.
Kristen, what's going on in your world? Did you get in trouble, and are you sorry?
I am sorry. And no, I did not get in trouble.
What's new in the realm of promotion and all things marketing?
Okay, so first off, I want to talk about the Halloween party. It is coming up in 3 weeks. We are going to be sending out an email soon for that, for the Eventbrite, because we're going to need a final count. So if you are wanting to go to our Halloween party, we will be sending an email out soon.
Did Kira send you a message, a nasty gram? Because she sent me one.
About which part?
About the When Lambo party.
She didn't send me one.
Huh.
But she was upset. She was upset about some stuff. Yes, we talked on the phone.
She asked if I wanted to deal with this disaster, or if we should make you deal with the disaster.
Oh
no. This is incidentally not even on my list of the sky is falling.
Yeah.
But it is something that we've done badly and we need to talk about.
Yeah.
And the reason I bring it up right now is to see if there's a chance that we can not make the same mistake when it comes to the Halloween party.
Yeah.
The mistake goes like this. We're pretty big now. I don't know if you guys notice or look at the chart on the website, but apparently I keep saying like 34,000 miners. No. It's 36,220. And I've been warning us for a very long time now that we're going to have the largest community in crypto outside of Bitcoin. You know, there's a lot that goes into building this thing. And we're up to 36,000, and that's a lot. And so we sent out, we've been planning this Formula One event in Austin, this big party on the 18th. Is it the 18th? For a while now. And it's right around the corner. And so we got an email out the door. Tickets are available to our big party on the 18th. And about 5 minutes later, all the tickets were gone. 300 of them. And then we started getting blasted with, hey, is the event sold out? I didn't get any tickets from everybody. Rangers and leaders and office workers. Like, all of a sudden, the tickets are gone. And I was like, surely they're not gone. We have 300 tickets for that party. You know, we had the roller skating event on Pizza Day. We had like 500 tickets for that. And I think like 7 people showed. Maybe like 100 people showed. But we've got a big community now. And we have to remember how big it is when we do things like this, because we're going to have to go back to people with some bad news. And the bad news is, as far as I'm concerned, one of two things. Either JK LOL, all the tickets are canceled and we're going to do this again. Or we're going to go back to people and we're going to say, hey, we're going to cap it at four people per, per ticket reservation. Cause we had a lot of people that were just going in and grabbing blocks of 10 tickets. And maybe you've got 9 friends, and that's awesome. Maybe those are 9 minors. Maybe there's 9 family members. Maybe it's 9 new people that you want to learn more about us. We don't really know. But what we can tell you is really 2 things. Number one is we absolutely don't want people to book tickets and then not show, because our cost per head on this event is like probably $150.
Yeah.
And so, if you book out 10 tickets and your besties don't show up for whatever reason, we go, well, geez, that's like $1,500 of, out of pocket cost that we now have to eat. And the bigger problem is that there's an opportunity cost there. There's only so many tickets. We don't want to overbook the place like we've done a couple times, intelligently or erroneously. And so if we have 300 tickets and only 100 people end up showing up, it's like, man, this was supposed to be a big event, and now all of a sudden, now we're like crickets here. So we have to remember how big this thing is, and if we're doing a big event, we can't do a big event for 300 people because there just aren't enough tickets to go around. We want these events to be inclusive. We want them to be outgoing. We want them to be opportunities for new people and existing people alike. With 36,000 minors, everyone brings a couple guests. Next thing you know, 100,000 people show up to a party. And so we want that. We want that. Obviously, we can't have that at every, barbecue meetup that we do. But when it comes to the big events, we're going to need to plan for capacity. And I don't think we took that into consideration when we planned this event. We sent out the invite. 5 minutes later, the tickets are gone. I think it was really like 6 hours or something like that. A lot of people were traveling, coming back from the Freedom Field trip. And so I'm not saying that the wrong people got the tickets. I'm not saying that you don't have 9 friends that you're going to bring with you. But I am saying that we definitely need to do a better job in the future with figuring out how to roll tickets out in blocks so that, the people that won the cars can actually go to the event. We've got people that are on the winning list of, the giveaway that don't even have tickets yet for the event, and the tickets are gone. So we're not sure exactly what we're going to do yet, but we have to do something. We are going to either reevaluate the ticket process, cancel all of them, and redo it, which is obviously bad news and some egg on our face. Or we're going to go back to you and say, hey, you've reserved 10. Are you sure that those 10 are really going to be there? Would you mind cutting it back to 4, or just cutting it back to the ones you're absolutely certain are going to show? Because we're out of tickets. So that's our bad. That's our bad. But again, guys, we're learning. You guys have been patient with us on many, many things. We're going to need you to continue to be patient with us as we trip over ourselves on things that are, challenges that we're learning as we get big. And so that's a new thing for us. It's a new thing for you guys. We'll figure it out. But we have 600 tickets available for the Halloween party, and that's a full house. And I don't think we've sold out of those tickets yet either. The event's also free. And that's a really important thing as well, guys. Like, we want you to understand that it's our goal to do these things at no cost to our community. I made the comparison before with the Enclave event that happened in Tampa a couple weeks ago. We're going to have a big event in Tampa again, I think on the 8th of November, about a month from now. Yeah, November 8th. The event holds 1,200 people. We're not going to charge anyone a dime. It's going to be a party like the Enclave has never seen. And we're going to do it at no cost to the people that we're inviting out. Now, again, because there are only 1,200 places and because our community is pretty substantial now, especially in Florida, it's growing very rapidly out there, we have to be careful. And so that may mean that, not everyone that wants to go can go, but we'll do the best we can as we continue to grow, to manage our growth well, to choose events and venues that are able to accommodate the size of the community that wants to come out and join us. But at this point right now, tickets are still open and available. Tell us more about the Halloween party, and let's get back on track.
Okay, so with the Halloween party, we've talked about it before, but there's going to be karaoke. There's going to be a silent disco. There's going to be the big costume competition in contest. So that'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, what I was going to say is that we will be sending out an email and resending out the Eventbrite. And if you guys want to go, make sure you reserve your tickets. And what else do I have? Oh, by the way, I meant to tell you this. Your Florida billboards, you know, the ones that you didn't tell me about that you randomly decided to purchase for, you know, all down the coast. I am getting stuff all over Florida trying to get a hold of me for like radio, everything you can think of, the Miami Heat and all these different things. So they're working. Billboards do work.
They work.
They do. Another thing, any type of partnerships or any type of sponsorships that we do, until I have got or until we have gotten everything signed over and whatnot, and I will let y'all know when y'all can just go and take it to town on a social and whatnot. But any entities that we're working with, do not post anything that I am to say on here until we get that ink dry on everything, because there have been some posts and stuff that we're in the middle of this week trying to get all the loose ends tied up and whatnot with some people and some companies and stuff. And I just want to make sure, do not post anything. As soon as everything's done, I'll be like, go to town, happy birthday. But for right now, just keep it on the down low.
And of course, you are following your own advice there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we got yelled at today by an entity whose name we shall not mention.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about two things related to that. First of all, like you said, look, we get excited over here. We have breaking news that we want to get to you as fast as we can. Partially because it's exciting, partially because, you know, full disclosure type stuff. We're going to try to do a little bit of a better job pacing ourselves and bringing things to you that are fully ready for your communication. You know, putting stuff out on socials and all that stuff. Because we don't want to spill the beans and then put something at risk because we said that some deal was done that wasn't really done. That's embarrassing for us. It's frustrating for them. It's really frustrating for you. So we're going to try to do a better job of containing our excitement as we're working through things and letting you know once the ink's signed and the money's paid. Even then things go wrong, but at least at that point we can be like, no, it was not our fault. We had the deal done. We paid the money and they backed out after all that stuff was said and done. And then the second part of that is that there are a lot of people in our community that are bringing us deals and ideas and sponsorship opportunities. And we don't have a formal process yet for evaluating those things and like receiving those ideas. And so you say, what's up, bro? Blah, blah, blah. Would you like to sponsor this event? We go, yeah, it sounds cool. Next thing you know, there's a post on social media saying keynote speaker Bobby Gray at blah, blah, blah event. It's like, whoa. We said the idea was cool. We didn't commit to it. We didn't sign. We didn't pay. And now it's going to look like we're backing out of something that we said was cool, but like what we meant was we'll look into it. So do us a favor, pretty please. And unless and until Kristen and her department go through and like finalize a deal, let's not jump too far ahead into promoting it for two reasons. One is we don't want to have more egg on our face. And two is we don't want to be pushed and pressured into doing things. We've got money to spend. You know it. We know it. We want to do things to promote our brand. It's like a contractual obligation on our part. But at the same time, we don't want to feel like we're being manipulated into doing something that we didn't necessarily agree that we were going to do. Oh, well, we told everyone already that you were going to be there, and so you have to go. That's not cool. So we have to take our own advice. Kristen needs to take her own advice, and you need to tune in and try to respect that request as well. If you've got ideas, you've got sponsorship opportunities, we'll set up a form at some point on the website if and when that ever improves so that you can communicate that stuff to us. I would say in the meantime, email Kristen, Kristen at blockchainmint.com. Give her a heads up. Give her as many details as you can. You know, one of the problems we have is like communicating in haikus and poems. It's like, hey, I have a friend who has an idea. What do you think? It's like, can we get any other details on this? Is there anything else you can add so that we can effectively evaluate this opportunity that may or may not exist? So email Kristen and we'll take it in, as we get bigger, as we get better, as we get more organized and disciplined, we're able to start looking more to the future. So if it's like, hey, we've got this big gala, it's $250,000 and the event is on Tuesday night. It's like, whoa. That's too much, too big, too soon. We don't have time to plan and accurately allocate resources to make the best use of that opportunity. So it might be the greatest opportunity we've ever heard of, but if it's too short of a timeline or too much or involves too many moving parts that we don't have immediate access to, then it's just unfortunately going to have to be a pass for us. Remember, it's our job to be really great stewards of the amazing amount of cash that you guys are crowdsourcing into this budget. And again, we want to do good things with it. We want to put it to use. That's our obligation to you. So if we say we can't do that event, we're double, triple booked, we got a lot of stuff coming down the pike, then try not to be bummed out. Don't take it personally. We have to make decisions that are in the best interest of our entire community and Texit Coin. And so that's what we take into consideration as we evaluate, approve, and get things on the schedule. So we're going to try to do a better job of communicating things that are done, not almost done. And you guys are going to do a better job of waiting for us to give you the green light and then taking that story, that message to the world. So thank you very much for the patience as we continue to learn. Having said that, back to you, Kristen. Anything else to contribute before we move on?
I'm good for today.
You're out of here. Thanks so much. Who's next? According to my cheat sheet from
we had
Rob.
Kyle. Have we found Kyle?
Kyle? Has Kyle made it in? Kyle's here.
He says
Kyle's
he's here. There he is.
Kyle, let's get into it, man, because you may have some not so great news for us. Is that right?
That's right.
And is this the hair that you wanted to show up to the Tuesday night call with?
Yep.
Perfect. Love it. Everyone's like, we went out to Asia and everyone's like, yo, Bobby, you should grow a mustache, which I had for a minute. It wasn't good. And put on a cowboy hat and get up on stage and give your speech like that. And I'm like, you know what, man, I just can't do it. It's not that it's not great for Texit Coin. It's just not me. It's not my image. It's not my brand. People are going to see right through it. So when you show up without your backwards cap on, I know there's something wrong.
Yeah.
There
Thanks.
you are.
I've
All
worn a
right.
hat
So what
my
are we
whole
talking
life,
about tonight?
Well, I mean, as obviously and a lot of people do, but most people probably don't know the two mining locations we have, Mansfield and Victoria, having incurred some minor setbacks. And when I say minor, I mean major setbacks.
Well,
So,
maybe
yeah,
I'll give you 1 for 2 on that. Let's step back for a quick second and just talk about an emergency call that I coordinated, I think last Thursday. Was it Thursday morning? I asked the Rangers to jump on a call last Thursday or Friday morning. I don't remember. It was sometime last week. And I shared with them some news. And the news was I have fired both the people that are charged with getting our mine installed. We had Fast Eddie, who I've renamed now to Slow Eddie, and we had Ron. And Eddie wasn't on here a lot. Ron was on here a couple times, and they're both gone now. And there's a lot that goes into this, guys. So Kyle, I'm going to unpin you here for a second. I'm going to give a long and drawn out speech about some philosophy stuff. Because of course the question is like, whoa. Isn't something better than nothing? Why did you get rid of both of them? Couldn't you have held one or the other off a cliff and just dropped one so we can keep this project moving forward? And the answer is, yeah, we could do that. But in my mind, that creates a double fraud. All right. And that's what we're here to avoid. Let me share my screen with you real quick. As we have told you guys for a very, very long time, hopefully you can see the screen from day one, that our first chart on the website shows the hash rate. And there's really supposed to be a third data set on here. There are only 2 data sets. I'll tell you about the third in just a second. But this data set, the one that's up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, is showing our current hash rate of the actual mine. And if you look at it over a longer period, you can see a couple different things. One is that, let's change it to month. One is that we are pretty far off the high right now. For a long time, we were all the way down here. And this period was when we had 5 L7s running in the fog hashing C6 immersion cooling. We had it like that. It worked great for a very, very long time. Then we bumped up to the B24, turned that on, hash rate jumped, then we had a problem with voltage and it dropped back down. We turned it off. Then we brought Eddie in. Eddie made some changes. We installed a transformer and we climbed all the way up to a high back in July of 400 gigahash. Okay. At the time, you can see the second data point is how much hash power we've sold. Now, what we mean by sold is like how much hash power has been either purchased or awarded to the mining community through our rewards program. And so you can see that we were running at less than 1/10 of the sold hash power back in July when we hit kind of our highest point there in terms of the network performance. So the line that's up and down is our network performance. The line that's steadily growing in one direction is the total amount of hash power that we've actually sold. And so if we change it back to week, you can see that we've been trending downwards in terms of our actual network hash power. Okay. Whereas we're trending upwards in the amount of hash power that we've actually sold. So this is literally the most important chart on the website, and it's the reason the chart is first. It's the most important chart on the website because, as you may recall, we're building a mine. We're building a mine. The whole basis of our project is to build a mine. Why? Because we think that decentralized proof of work mining, cryptocurrency, is the way to go. We just don't like that it's mostly located over there on the other side of the world. It's a beautiful side of the world, many, many great things to enjoy about that, but we don't want them in control of our money. If our money is going to be digital and digital decentralized proof of work mining is the way to do it, we want to have control of that here. That's the whole point of our project. And the data points that we've established are that if we build a mine that's this big, then we will have a coin that's worth at least this much. That's it. That's our whole project. That's the whole bet. That's the gamble. That's the assumption. We've gone through it many, many, many times before. There are 850 people on this call right now, so many of you are hearing about it maybe for the first time. But that's our project in a nutshell. And so the chart on the website shows you how we're doing. Okay, what's the mine actually running at? Up, down, up, down. It's okay. It's going to be up and down. And how much have we actually sold? Now, the third data set that's missing from this chart is how much mining hash power we've actually purchased. And that's a really big thing because there are many, many steps that go into building the mine. Step 1, we got to sell it. Step 2, we got to get paid for it. Step 3, we got to buy it. Step 4, we got to pay for that. Step 5, they've got to ship it. Step 6, we need to receive it. On and on and on and on down the line until at some point we drop those miners in the soup, we turn the switch, and then, and only then, do you see the chart on the website which shows the actual live hash power change. So the chart on the website changing is at the end of a long list of things that have to happen correctly in order for you to see that we're doing what we say we're going to do and me to not go to jail. Very important stuff. And so when we started this thing, I was doing the mining myself. And then we got to the point where I was like, okay, I can't do it all myself. It's time to bring on some people. We tried this guy, didn't work out. Tried that guy, didn't work out. Finally found somebody that we thought I was happy with and made a little bit of progress, but then all of a sudden we're trending in the wrong direction. And I said, we have a problem. Let's bring on another guy. We brought on Ron. We set him loose in parallel. We said, look, we've got these two major projects, Victoria on one side, Mansfield on the other. Go, 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 go. As you may recall, if you tuned in 3-4 weeks ago, right before I was getting ready to head on out to Asia, I said, look, it looks like the work is going to be completed while I'm overseas. I'd really like to be there for that switch flipping and be a part of the ceremony where we turn on our first container. That's going to be a major, major jump in the hash power on the website. 200 L9s go into that. They run at 16,500 megahash. That would increase the power by 3 million, almost 10x over the highest we've ever had it. Not only is it a huge improvement to the chart and the date on the website to point out and say, see world, we told you we were doing what we were going to do, but it's also a huge learning experience now that's out of the way for us. I've never installed a shipping container full of mining equipment. Have you? I don't think you have. I don't think anybody on this call has. Well, I've done some work on shipping containers and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Look, what we're doing is it's not revolutionary and it's not actually hard work. It's just new to us and it hasn't been done before. So once we turn on that first one, we go, oh, we figured it out. We acquired the land, we engaged the power company, we negotiated a price, we brought the equipment and the vendors together, we poured the slab, we dropped the container, we cross-connected the power, we filled it up, we got the pumps working, and it's done. You get to see it, we get to see it, we can party there, we can have more than 300 people there, no problem. But we get to learn and we get to go, check, done. Now, go replicate it 34 more times. That's what's at stake. That's the mission. That's the work. That's the job. And we thought we were there. Then I come to find out that we're not done. We're not waiting just for the power company to come out and cross connect. We haven't installed palms. We haven't done this other thing. We need to bring the crane back out. What are we doing, guys? Why am I not getting any information about this? And I was pissed. I was really pissed off. And here's the double fraud. The double fraud on one part is you guys going out there selling hash power and not seeing the mine grow. You have to see it sooner or later, or it's a fraud. We can make promises, we can pinky swear all day long, but unless and until you see the chart on the website, which is a real live chart, unless and until you see that chart on the website grow, we haven't done our job. Plain and simple. Number one. Here's fraud number two. We go, well, look, we can just tell everybody that we hired a guy or two, and then we let it all go to them and they're going to take care of it. If we know that they're not doing a good job and we're using our money to compensate those guys, to give them access to resources to do a good job, and they're not doing a good job, we're stealing from that pot. We're wasting our money. And maybe we are making a little bit of progress, but if we're not doing enough to meet my expectations, and I don't make a change fast, decisively, completely to stop that bleeding, it's a fraud. And that's where you get the second fraud. Oh, we're doing enough. We're kicking the can down the road. We can at least go back to our community and pretend like we're doing the right thing. And so the decision was made last week to clear out the department, and gathering more information since then, I can tell you with a high level of confidence and certainty that one of the firings was really, really smart. The second one, maybe, maybe not. But again, if we're not putting our money to the best use possible, then we're letting you down. And so I would rather have us stop the bleeding on our cash because only because of one thing. Right now, we don't have any mission critical stuff running on our network. If the city of McKinney was screaming at us saying lawsuit, 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 our community currency is down, it would be all hands on deck, drop everything else we're doing and get it resolved. We're not there yet. We haven't gotten there yet. You know, people keep asking, well, where's the layer 2? Where's phase 2? We can't launch layer 2 and phase 2 unless and until we have a reliable network. We have yet to break through that point where we flip the switch on our first container. We've got 3 more of these containers sitting somewhere. Kyle, did we get eyeballs on them yet?
We have not gotten physical, someone there yet. I do have an address, and I will get an update as soon as we are this week.
I know that number 4 is showing up in McKinney tomorrow. So if you want to drive by and see number 4, it's supposed to be there tomorrow. But 2 and 3 are supposed to be sitting in a yard somewhere, waiting.
In Pleasanton, Texas.
And has Steve been out to Victoria and at least seen that there's a real container there?
As far as my knowledge, yes, he has, but
Okay.
I haven't gotten proof that he's there, but he says he's been there and evaluated, yes.
Got it. So look, guys, I made the decision to bring on Eddie. I made the decision to bring on Ron. We've been trying to get information out of him. It's been bad at best with communication. All we hear from one of them is everything's going great. Then we find out that's not true, fired. Then we look into the other one. When are we flipping the switch? We don't know. We need this, we need that, another $90,000, blah, 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 blah. What is going on? Cleared them out. We're not back to square one on this. I mean, we're still, like you said, it's a disaster on both of them. I just, while we're sitting here, got some messages. Did you see those come through?
I don't believe so.
Let me take a look, see if I can find them while we're talking here. So two things that are goodish news. Number one is the power conditioner. They arrived. We've been looking
I
for those
unloaded
things for
those.
2 months, right? Power conditioners arrived. That's a big step in the right direction. I just got a message from Steve. He's on site, and we are looking at the power company cross-connecting today. So there's Victoria Electric cross-connecting, finally getting this transformer plugged in. And so the big question in Victoria right now, since the power company's there, finally, they're overdue, but they're there, is what else is required to flip that switch? And that's what we're trying to get to the bottom of right now, because as soon as we flip that switch, the chart on the website changes. You guys say, oh, okay, I didn't start signing up. I didn't sign up for a fraud. They are actually building a mine. Good news. We get to breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief. We're not there yet. The website chart jumps from kind of nothing right now to 3.3 million. We get the other 3 installed, which is going to take some time. And of course, then we go to 6, 12, plus. We just bought and paid for the next 4. So we've got work to do with the mine, and we've had a setback, and we want to bring that information to you. I asked Kyle to jump on the call to share his insight from his perspective, so you get to hear from him on where we are ATM at the moment. What else do you have to add into that, if anything whatsoever?
Not a whole lot, but not to that. When we're picking up the pieces for Mansfield, we're moving forward with that. We'll know a lot more end of day Friday on Mansfield. Might have an ETA on when we can turn it on Friday, and I'm really hoping, striving for that.
Well, keep in mind the Mansfield's got the B24, right?
Right.
And so ultimately, we're supposed to have 3 micro sites around DFW. We've got the one in McKinney in my backyard. We've got the second one in Mansfield that hasn't turned on. Setback number 1 was they filled it up with oil, ready to turn it on. Apparently there's water in there. The oil's contaminated. The machines are covered in water. Setback. Okay, lesson learned. Check for water. Number 1. Number 2 is, when we found that site, it was supposed to be fully set up for a full container worth of installation. Now we're finding out that it didn't even have enough for a B24. We had to pay somebody to go out there and upgrade that. So guys, long story short is I'm getting more involved in the mining side of things because the teams that we had let me down. I fired them to continue to be a good steward of your trust and our money. And no, it is not better to kick the can down the road, wasting $10,000, $15,000 a week, pretending like we're making progress. It is much better to stop the bleeding, fix the problem, get to the bottom of whatever it is, even with the reputational damage, the egg on the face, the what kind of clown show is running this situation, accusations. We'll deal with all of that, and we will keep moving forward. Anything else to add?
No, sir.
Okay, so more pictures coming soon. As we get them, we'll keep you guys updated real time in the miner chat. In which group do we use in there? Which topic do we use? Where is mining? I think we got a mining info. We'll keep information coming into the mining info chat so you guys can keep an eye on it real time. Miners, we're days away from turning Victoria on. We don't know exactly how many days that is. We don't know exactly what else needs to get done. I know we need to build a fence. I know we need security. I know we need internet connection. There's a couple of things we're working on a status report there from Steve Walsh, who I think is on site right now, sending us pictures of the power company doing their work. It's a setback. Like I said, sky is falling. It's on my list. but it's an important thing for us to be upfront with you, the good and the bad. And there's plenty of both. As soon as we can share it, we'll make it known to you what the real status is and what's happening next. Hopefully, by the time we get back on this call in a week, we will have an event scheduled to invite you out. We're not going to have a lot of warning or notice because once this thing's ready to go live, we're pushing it live. So it might be like, who's in town tomorrow? Let's go meet downtown or meet down at Victoria. Let's turn this thing on. Kyle, thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate the insight. Just so you know, I've asked Kyle to babysit this thing through to completion, or at least through to the point where we know which end is up and we have a high level of confidence that we're done with messing around and we're moving on to actual real deal results.
Thank you, Bobby.
Thanks, man. Rob, who's up next?
Oh, we've got MaryAnne hiding out there.
We might need to speed things up here. It's getting late. MaryAnne, what's happening? Are people paying their bills on time, or is it time to kill peer payments?
No, they're paying. We're slowly stopping the bleeding, like you like to say, on peer payments. So I collected a lot of money today, so good news. But I did have to deliver some unfortunate news to some peers about their peer payment acceptability. But this decision came after looking at all the past invoices and how much I had to reach out to and collect. And so we made a decision to cut the peer list by 50%. So
by about half.
By half. Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about that real quick because we had some angry peers.
But it's nothing personal.
In the group.
I just want to mention that.
Yeah. Look, what I said in the peer payment ranger group was that this isn't something because of some bad apples, and it's not something that happened because, those bad apples spoiled the whole bunch. It's happening because we have to continue making progress. One of the biggest challenges of this project is like whatever plan we had yesterday is not a good enough plan for today. It's insane to think of it that way, but we're growing so fast. 45% a month is kind of the target number. We're growing so fast that if we're not constantly improving, then we're falling behind. If we're not adding more staff, if we're not improving our systems, if we're not getting better at the work that we do, then we're falling behind. And there's only so many people that we can hire. There's only so many spots in the parking lot. There's only so many offices in the building. Like we can't keep upgrading all of these things every month because we need 45% more people. Throwing manpower at this is one way to fix it, but really we have to continue to get better at our jobs as well. And so we need to constantly be improving. Whatever plan we had at the beginning is obviously not the plan that we're using now. Whatever plan we had at the beginning of the year isn't the plan we have now. And like I mentioned earlier, we're learning so much of this stuff as we're small. And so to think that we're not even at 15% yet, and we still have this much distance to go is really reassuring for me. So it's like, okay, let's make the mistakes while we're small. When the consequences, have a narrow focus area, let's get that stuff out of the way now so that as we get into the fast, not the fast growth, because the growth is similar to what it's been over the last couple of months. It's just the numbers are bigger. If we make a mistake at $100,000, like I remember our first $100,000 week, it was like, wow, 100. Now we're doing close to 10 million a week. And so if we're making the same mistakes at 10 million that we were at 100,000, even though the growth is the same, that's an incredible increase in the size of the consequence of that mistake. Now, setting aside the money, what we're trying to do is teach people about crypto. I believe that if we teach people about crypto, if we take people that didn't understand it, didn't get in because they didn't like it, they didn't get it, they didn't trust it, and we bring those people into digital currency, they're going to love it. They're going to love it as much as I love it, maybe more. And they're going to come to the conclusion that Texit Coin is the vehicle, the rocket that they want to be on as they go into the digital future. That's what we want. We want to teach people about crypto. So every time we go out of our way to take a Zelle payment or a Venmo or a Cash App or a PayPal or a check or an ACH, we prohibit our ability to put that opening wedge into the conversation. Hey, you should get into crypto, but get into it later. for now, just sell me the money. That's what happens with a peer payment. And it works great for the peers that accept that money because they make some cash on that. And those numbers, as they add up, they become larger and more impressive. But what we're doing is we're taking the incentive and we're giving it to somebody that's already experienced with crypto. And what we want to be doing, what we have to be doing, is really welcoming that new miner into our community through crypto. And so even if they buy some USDC off of somebody that's done peer in the past, even if they buy some Texit Coin off the market so that they can buy the mining seat, we're getting them oriented in the right direction. And so it feels a little frustrating. It feels a little painful. It feels a little regressive. But the bottom line is that we have to continue to move our project in the direction that we want it to go. We have to think outside of the dollar. We have to think outside of the banks. We have to think outside of these systems that we've become incredibly comfortable and familiar with over the last 100 years. How did we get in the mess that we're in today? Through the devaluation of the dollar. Okay, well, how are we going to undo it? By continuing to use dollars in the same format that we've always been comfortable doing? No, it's going to be uncomfortable to engage these new ideas so that we can benefit from them. But if we don't create an opening opportunity, an on-ramp for people to get into that conversation, then we've set ourselves back as a project, not because the cash isn't coming in, but because the major goal of getting people to understand the benefits of cryptocurrency are really getting lost there at the very beginning. And so the primary goal is to teach people about crypto, take a journey into this digital currency frontier. Texit Coin's the vehicle. We know that. We've built our own rocket ship based on all the things that I've learned, and probably you've learned because you're here as well, over the last 12+ years. But we have to begin that process. And so we're phasing out the peer payment system. It's going to go away for everyone sooner or later. And so we've begun the painstaking and the painful process of reminding people that they need to go through the front door or the back door and not the YOLO door as they bring on new miners to our community. It's frustrating, guys. I know it, but you got to remember that leadership is about doing the things that we have to do, not just the stuff that's easy to do. And so that's what's happening right now in the peer paymentville, which MaryAnne has been doing a great job of holding together. Anything else to add,
Thank you.
MaryAnne?
No, I just want to let all the viewers know that I do appreciate each and every one of you, and that, the ones that, I had to deliver the bad news today. Like I said, it wasn't personal, and I truly appreciate all of you for making your payments on time. It's just something that we had to do.
We got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She's really a nice person, everyone.
Yeah, she's really super sweet.
Am.
She's much nicer even in person. All right, MaryAnne, thanks. Paige, anything
Thank you.
that you've got to add to our chat tonight?
Yes.
What
So
do you got?
I have
Make
just
it quick because we're running out of time.
okay.
I'm ready to go to bed.
I know.
Flag
I
is
know.
looking for me. It's knocking on the door.
Just a few things. Commission. So this week in USDC, we're paying out 1.15 million. TXC, we're paying out 380,000, and then BOGO was 1.426. We did go over commissions last week for suspended, and also with that, there was 126 last week on Friday that have don't have a USDC address added on to their profile. We've been trying to reach out to those people, so please check your emails about any updates if you don't have a USDC address on your profile. And
Yep.
please contact us from the help button so that way we can get that updated. As of today, we had 113 still that haven't responded.
So let's talk real quick, and I'm going to add Alex here to our chat. Alex, feel free to unmute and unhide. There you are. Alex is our guy over there in Commissionville. And Alex and I work together to establish our system and our processes. And we're still working on getting those processes documented properly so that, as this thing evolves, we can, communicate the evolution. Hello there, Kat, to the development team, but also we can communicate that to you. So it's like, well, how do commissions work? Well, here's the programming document of how the system works. So you know exactly what to expect out of the commission process. And a couple of things that I think have been hot topics are the supernova bonus and the default system preferences. When you sign up to become a miner, before before like a week or two ago, we set your default at USDC. And so we created kind of an issue there at the beginning because you don't have a USDC address in your back office. And so you earn a commission, you don't have a USDC thing set, and so nothing happens. So you get an email that says, hey, we need your USDC. If you don't respond to that email, the commission just sits there. Now, in the past, the chart on the website showed like paid commission and unpaid commission. And I was like, look, let's just get rid of all the unpaid. We'll put it on a cold storage coin and then we'll send it out to them in the mail. That's a great idea. You know, what's the biggest one? Like $17,000 of commission on a cold storage coin that never got there. So we did away with that one. Now that the chart on the website is updated where it doesn't break down paid and unpaid commission, I said, hey, look, if somebody earns a commission and they don't want to claim it, that's on them. We'll just sit it there. We'll stockpile it. We actually set up a like a commission graveyard coin so we can escrow that money. But the point is, like, log into your back office, see if you've got pending commission, figure out, you know, how to put in your USDC address, get it from a cold storage wallet or, God forbid, something like Coinbase or Kraken. But if we don't have your USDC address, we can't get you paid.
And if I can add real quick, a lot of these are second and third tracking centers.
Yeah.
They don't have access to those emails, so
Yeah.
they have to send a help desk ticket, ZenDesk, through their back office on the dashboard to get those emails updated so they can receive a password update and all that.
Yeah.
So
And
that's our biggest challenge.
Maybe we've got to do something where we link together, you know, secondary and third accounts so that you can administer them through a single sign-on or something like that. I don't know. But look, the days of us like aggressively going out of our way to get your money into your pocket are kind of done. And so what we don't want to do is require a USDC address at sign up. If you're international, then that's a different story as well. But the point is that like we have commission rules, they're programmed into the system, they run a particular way. If you don't understand what those rules are and how they work, then it's really difficult for you to maximize the benefit of those kind of things. We have a lot of people that come back and say, well, if I had known, I would have chosen hash power. You know, and okay, well, that's great. Well, let's do that. Well, if your hash power doesn't go in right away, then you don't get a point for that right away. And that affects the supernova bonus for your sponsor or for other people that are above you in the organization. And so, you know, in the next couple of days, I think we're really close right now to really hammering down exactly what these things are, how they work, and getting the document published for your benefit, for the system administrator's benefit, so that you know exactly what to expect out of the system. You can get into your settings, make the modifications so that you can get the most benefit out of it. But in the meantime, if you're expecting a commission or some sort of reward, keep an eye on your email, because we do send an email out to everyone that gets a commission saying, here's what happened. And that system is, I think, working pretty well at this point, right?
It is. Yeah. It's all going smoothly. There's a lot more details going out too that reminds them. But the biggest part is them reaching back out to us and responding to us on either they need this is their USDC address, which there are links in that email,
right?
And either or they want hash. We can also switch that to hash for them as well.
But that's in the email with buttons.
It is. Yeah, and Sunday's email. Yes, correct.
Just remember as well that if you click on that button, it only affects that week's pending commission. It doesn't change your default. Maybe there's another button that says change my default forever and ever and ever. Maybe there's a pre-email that goes out and says, hey, you're probably going to get commission this week. Do you want to change your default? I don't know. But we can do a better job with that. I think we're doing pretty well. I don't think that there are any real problems and crises like we've had in the past.
This week ran really smoothly too. Yeah.
Good. It's much smoother when commission doesn't run twice.
Yeah. The double hash really kind of.
Hey, I got 16 commissions this week.
And they watch their hash drop too.
Yeah.
Live. And they're like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Good. Thanks, guys. Paige, any other updates for you?
Just kind of wanted to go over reimbursements. Just another reminder, we kind of reached out to people about all non-ranger miners must have their expense requests approved first by their and submitted by their designated ranger support person. those rangers are going to be responsible for collecting and reviewing and submitting all reimbursements for their team.
So let's clarify that real quick as well.
Okay.
What I think the policy is at this point is that reimbursements are only open to people that we specifically give access to or rangers.
Correct. So Siri
Then
did. Yes.
Rangers have access to $3,000 of kind of unquestioned marketing money. Minimum. Some have more. We don't have the system built yet to support who gets what and why, but I think that's coming sometime soon. And so if you want to like have a meeting or dinner or something like that, and you're not a ranger, you got to reach out to your ranger and get it approved through them, number one. And then number two is you got to get it reimbursed through them. So whether your ranger goes, sure, bro, here's the $200 that you spent, or they say, give me your receipt, I'll plug it into the system, and as soon as the company reimburses me, I'll reimburse you. Or they can even put in a different USDC address for that reimbursement. So if you host an event and your ranger approves it and you give them your USDC address and they input that expense through their portal, then that money can come straight to you. Like I said before, we've got money. We want to spend it. We just want to see it being spent intelligently. You know, what has to happen as this organization continues to grow is we need to maintain some sort of order and discipline, or it devolves into a circus and it's gone. And everyone goes, well, what happened? Well, Bobby set it up so that anybody could go in there and do anything they want and get any reimbursements they ever desire. Next thing you know, that $86 million was gone. What? How did they go from one of the biggest raises ever in the history of crypto to like sitting down there at the bankruptcy office? Mismanagement, lack of discipline, lack of rules, lack of processes and procedures, lack of anything required whatsoever to run the organization successfully. And so that's our primary responsibility now. It's work. And it's not even the fun kind of work. It's managing the business so that we continue to do a good job. It's important. It's very important. We're on it. But that is the way it works. So if you want to do a dinner and you don't have a little button on your screen that says, click here for reimbursement, you got to get in contact with a ranger. There are lots of rangers now. We got 60 of them.
Yes.
What else is hot? Does that sound right?
Yes. So also just to add to that, please make sure that y'all are adding the receipts and they have to be detailed and itemized on there. And do not include alcohol onto the amount that you're submitting for, because I've been reviewing them. I don't know if y'all are trying to be sneaky, but I've been catching it. And I've been subtracting that alcohol amounts that are added onto the receipts that have been uploaded and changing them out. So if you're like, well, I submitted for 1,500, but I only got 1,300 back. That's why, because I was deducting alcohol from us reimbursing that, because we don't pay for alcohol.
Yeah, and let's talk just about that real quick, because it's not like some theological thing. What it is we want people to make good decisions. We want good information to be communicated by the people that are hosting events, and we want those people that are receiving that presentation to be in good state of mind. We don't want them 6 cans of, Milwaukee's Best Deep and going, sure, I'm in for the YOLO 2754, whatever. Like, we don't want that to happen. So as a specific policy, we don't buy you alcohol. If somebody comes and they want to buy a drink, they can. If you want to buy them a drink, you can. You shouldn't, because you won't be doing it with our money. But if that's what you want to do, then you've got the ability to do that. It's just not something that we're paying for, because our official policy is that we don't serve alcohol at our events, right? We don't serve alcohol at our pitch events, right? We do plenty of stuff that's fun. There's alcohol, there's open bars. We had a great time in Asia and Thailand, and it was 5 stars, most expenses paid. But again, it was not an opportunity where we're asking somebody to reach into their wallet and hand us some cash. When those times are happening, we absolutely do not want to serve alcohol, right? That's the policy.
Yeah. And then just one more thing with, for rangers, just make sure that y'all, when everyone's doing an event to include a roster with attendees' names and emails. So that way, if they aren't interested, we can follow up with them. And that way it just shows proof who's attending, and we can kind of check to see if it's the same people showing up, if it is it new people come in to that's interested. So we're just trying to keep track of that. Just to make sure we're having better judgment on reimbursements. Because we don't want to keep paying for the same people or family, we're paying for family dinners or anything like that. So that's why we want the roster involved with names and emails. I also got with development. I had a few people reach out to me on issues with submitting reimbursements when they are a ranger. So that was supposedly corrected. Our development team said to just refresh your page. If we did submit for you to submit a reimbursement instead of changing it to a ranger, and it should let y'all submit a reimbursement now.
Okay. Just a real quick note on what you just said there a minute ago. Look, we're not trying to micromanage every dollar. What we're trying to do is get the dollars in the hands of the people that we know, that we believe make good decisions, and empower them to continue to take this out into your communities. That's the goal, right? Exactly how to do that, we don't know. We're trying stuff out. We know what works. We know what to avoid, or we're learning what to avoid. But that's ultimately the goal. The ultimate goal is to make sure that that money goes to good use. Because again, that's not just my money; it's our money. And so, as we establish these policies and procedures, you're looking at it and going, "Yo, bro, I want to do it this way." Remember that if you're using our money, you have to do it in a fashion that I can take back to our community and say, this is how we said that it should get done. Now, we police it a little bit the best we can. We give suggestions. We reprimand when and if necessary. But the point is that we've got to watch out so that we're doing the best that we can with the money that we have. We're making good judgment on things we should sponsor. We should sponsor this, but not that. Someone's feelings are hurt because we didn't sponsor their event. Look, we made a decision that we're comfortable bringing back to this community. You guys are going to want to put me in the hot seat, make sure that I'm doing a good job on my part. I put my team in the hot seat. I said it plenty of times. Look, you don't have to convince me. You got to convince everybody. Why should we do this event? Does it help everyone? Does it further the mission and the brand of Texit Coin? No, then it's not something we should be doing with our money. You can use it. You can use your own money for anything you want. But when you're talking about accessing our money, you got to make good decisions. You got to do it based on the policy and the culture that we've established. That's the rule. We enforce it so that we can hold this thing together and protect that goose that lays the golden egg, that beautiful thing that we've got. Okay. Anything else?
That's all I have.
Call it a night. You're out of here. Rob, it's just me and you, man.
Unless you would like to hear from Jennifer. We do have some shipping questions and she's out there, but
I
maybe
really
you
don't.
can't find her. Okay.
No, it's not that I don't love her. It's that we have to move on. It's 7:08, and I still have a whole list of bad news to cover. I haven't even gotten to my bad news yet.
Did I not win a car for just being me?
Well, I think you get some sort of company car. Isn't there a company car program?
Something.
All right. Are we ready for me, or do you have anything you want to throw in there?
I just had a few, like, when are we getting the 100 TXC reward? I know that we've got to secure some TXC first.
Yeah. So I'm going to start sending that out tomorrow. I'm going to probably send it out in chunks of 50,000. I've already got my hands on about 200,000 TXC. I'm quietly working on picking up more. I've been accused of market manipulation here with this bonus, from friends. So I'm trying to not market manipulate too much here as I pick up Texit Coin to pay out this bonus and guys, in all honesty, I had no idea getting into this bonus what it was going to cost. It's going to cost a fortune. Literally a straight up fortune. But we said it, we'll follow through on it. And that'll be it. Now, moving forward, guess what the new promotion is? Nothing. I mean, we had a long conversation the other day about the anti-promotion being the next promotion. What's the next promotion? It's a secret. I would love to call you up and be like, hey, remember how well you did last April? Yeah, here's your car. Why? Because anytime you put promotions and incentives out there, you're going to have people that are going to cheat, game the system, you know, and do all kinds of weird things to qualify her to win. We've seen it already. We know that it happens. We deal with it when it comes across our desk, but it's really frustrating. And it's kind of like, oh, really? How did that happen? That's not the spirit of what we wanted to do. We didn't want you to sign up all 300 of your minnows in your stream outside just to qualify for a cool car. That's not it. So we don't have one this month. Why? We got a lot going on. We did a pretty lackluster job of the last couple of promotions. So until we have like a full-time promotion and prize and contest person in here, I'm not real excited about launching more of them. We've had plenty of people be like, bro, I didn't even know you were having a game over giveaway. What's the game over give? Oh, I won. Cool. What did I win? So, so October's promotion is the anti-promotion. We'll figure it out later and let you know how you did. But as far as the 100 TXC for every 1-2 free, you'll get it. It's coming. It'll get paid out to your default wallet, which is probably your cold storage coin. If you go into your back office and set a default that's different, it'll go there. Give it a couple days, guys. I got to put out a couple $1,000,000 to pick up all these coins. So bear with me as I chunk it down and get it done. Okay, what else?
Would you like to discuss the ACH? We have a lot of questions on ACH. I know we've kind of talked about going back to our roots with crypto.
I don't want to discuss it because ACH has not been something that we've offered for a long time.
Okay.
We don't offer it now. We didn't offer it in the last 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. That was through a third party, TXC Limited. They did a great job. They got overwhelmed. They had lots and lots and lots of errors. That's probably going to result in $50,000 or $100,000 loss for them. That's painful. We don't want anyone to lose anything, but ACH is not something we do. We're a crypto company. We're doing crypto stuff, and we need you guys to get there with us so that this thing continues to run smoothly as we get into the next phase, which is bigger and bigger money.
Yep. Onto your list.
All right, let's get into the bad news. So bad news number one, as I probably mentioned, I don't know, maybe, my bank account was shut down. So now did I mention that yet on a Tuesday call? I think that's the first time. I'm down to one bank account, everyone. We had Credit Union of Texas and Texas Trust Credit Union. CUTX said, stop, game over. Fortunately, they didn't freeze any of the money that we had there. We were able to pull that out and move it over to the other account. But this is why we're going full crypto, as we should have been all along. We're a crypto company. We're doing crypto stuff. The banks are not ever going to reach out to us. I don't care what the bank is. People say, well, have you tried this bank or that bank or the other bank? Even Coinbase and Kraken are not friends. You know, I don't know how many people in our community have frozen Coinbase and Kraken accounts. Mine are both frozen. So we got to be cautious. You know, we have been very fortunate that the problems that we've had have not hurt us to the point where we're not able to follow through on the things that we're supposed to do. But again, as we scale up, you know, imagine a bank account with 50 million or 100 million or $250 million gets frozen. That's going to be painful. And so before we get to that point, way ahead of when that could be a disastrous ending to our story, we're going to make a change. And we're going to make the change that we've been talking about all along, and that's being 100% crypto. Okay, having said that, let's talk about the market, because the market is crashing. What happened to Texit Coin? We were so excited. The price was going bonkers, and then it's gone. Pull up on your PC at home CoinMarketCap, and let's talk about, first of all, the good news. The good news is that we have 5 markets now listed. Texit Coin to USDT on MEXC, on Bitmart, on DexTrade, and Texit Coin to USDC. Did I say USDC the first time? Texit Coin to USDT on MEXC, Bitmart, DexTrade, and Texit Coin to USDC on Uniswap and Biconomy. And that is really, really, really great and encouraging stuff. 5 markets there. is well beyond the 3 that we needed to make this thing over here go away. This is the unverified listing warning. This is the warning that keeps us down on page 39 as opposed to page, well, where's our volume today? 234 million. If we were a verified project, 234 million, would that put us on page 2 or is it on page 3 at that point? Scrolling down.
Let's look.
Taking a look at page 2, trying to look at page 2. Page 2 is loading. $234 million would put us on page 2 at this point.
Wow.
Up there with Baby Doge. Man, those are some bragging rights. Our coin is better than Baby Doge. Thank you very much. All jokes aside, guys, that was an important step for us to get out of the pink sheets, so to speak, and to be taken seriously on page 2. I promised you guys page 1. I said to you, I have a plan to get us into page 1 with $1 billion value. And the rankings are always changing. Money is coming in and out of the crypto space. Crypto is hot right now. But if we wanted to be on page 1, we would have to have at least a $739 million value. We're not stopping there. We're going for $1 billion value. That's 16 bucks. I'm out of water. And so I know how to get us there. We're well on the way. It's called the Path to 16, and it's happening as we speak. In fact, we're way ahead of schedule. So remember to keep an eye on that article, The Path to 16, because it'll let you know where we should be. Okay, let's talk about what's happened in the last couple days, though, because it feels terrible. It feels ridiculous. But in fact, it is actually very, 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 very good news. And I'm not saying that just to be optimistic. When you look at our chart over the last 3, 4, 5, 6 months, it's hard to show you on the scale we have now. But let me cut out the last couple of weeks and show you what's going on. What's going on is the end of what we call barcoding. Okay. When you have a market and the price isn't really moving, more water. Ask and I shall receive. Thank you. When you have a market that's not really moving, the price is kind of stuck here at 46, 47, 48 cents. And then we move up, quick pop, and then we're kind of stuck here at $1.02, $1.03, $1.02. Then we have a quick pop, and then we're stuck here at $1.36, $1.35, $1.36, right? This is boring. This doesn't attract traders. What are traders? The crypto bros that are on the lookout for anything. Crypto bros and traders will trade mini Doge or baby Doge or Pepe coin or dog with hat or all kinds of stupid stuff just because there's a market. What is a market? A market means that there are buyers and sellers and they're trading stuff back and forth. The price goes up, the price goes down. People hate a stagnant market. And so as we're getting started here, we've created intentionally kind of this boring, stagnant market. And when you look at this boring, stagnant market, and I'll give you like kind of a close-up of it so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. But you've got this thing that's called barcoding. Where did you go, our market? Come back to me. So when you see very little ups and downs or very little movement in a direction up or down, and I can't kind of zoom in on it there because it's just not giving me what I want. But that's what we call barcoding. It's just the system kind of doing its thing back and forth. Now, we have multiple markets. And if you look at the markets, we've got Mexi, Bitmart, Dextrade, Biconomy. I want to remind you that Mexi and Bitmart both have a professional market maker service that's actively monitoring and I don't know if you'd say influencing, but participating in the market. What is it doing? It's designed to hold steady. We've designed those things to set the floor at $3.79 because that's where we are today. But it's designed to just kind of like keep an eye on the market. If there are too many buyers, too many sellers, we don't want too many pops. We don't want it to drop. But we do have a professional market maker service called Market Labs. They're one of the top 3 that's in there actively monitoring those 2 markets, which is why we call Dextrade kind of the Wild West of our market because we don't have a professional market maker there. And the activity that you see on Dextrade is 100% organic with one exception. So let's pull it up here and take a look at the one exception. The one exception is our participation in that market, right? And so if you come over here and you look at the market depth, you can see, oh, that looks a little odd and unnatural. It is. It's because I've got $120,000 sitting there right now at $3.79. And you can scroll down and you can take a look at that order. There's $119,000. Now, what happens is you look at this chart, and we'll go back and take a look at this chart again in a second. But you can see that at that $3.79 floor, we're having people hitting it almost every day. Today, the market crashed down, but it stopped at 379 because we established a floor there. And it happened on October 2nd, and it happened on September 29th, and it happened all the way back on September 20th. And so what the market on Dextrade is, I would say primarily is where the community of miners goes to liquidate. We've got the most help documents and training videos on how to trade on Dextrade. It's the one that we've had the longest, so it's natural that a lot of people have become comfortable and familiar with Dextrade. And I can tell you that I know at least 2 people that personally cashed out gigantic sums of Texit Coin recently with the market pop, probably on Dextrade, that bought houses with that money. And I applaud them. I encourage you guys to do that. Anytime you can book a win and take your Texit Coin and turn it into a positive, real benefit that changes your life, I want it. I don't want you all doing it at the same time. That would be, a little rough for us, but we would get through it. And you would push the market down. If you would tap into our reserves, we got $5 million of reserves now, then so be it. That's what that reserve money is for. And you can get off that rocket ship one time. If you decide you've gotten to your number, thanks everyone. What a great experience. Have a nice day. I'm off the rocket. Good luck. We wish you the best. If you ever want to get back on, you can, but you got to buy back in, and the price is probably going to be higher. Maybe lower, maybe higher. We don't know. But the point is that we can see that activity by looking at that chart. But I want to show you what the good news is. And again, it's not just me being optimistic. What you can see here is barcoding, 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 barcoding. And then things started to change. Right around here, mid-September, we had a quick jump all the way up to 363, 370, and then the market took over. And we had huge buys, pushed the price of the coin all the way up to $7. What a great day that was. And then people said, 7's awesome. I'm going to take some profit. I'm going to take some profit too. But then there was more buyers and more support there. And so the floor that we've established over here at $3.79 has been tested a couple times, but it shows you that we've got consistent market activity in the range between 379 and kind of that high of 7 and kind of this high of 550 and kind of a higher number of 450. And today the market is looking at it and saying 422 is kind of the nice happy medium between the buyers and sellers. And so as we look at this, we say what's really beginning to change in our story is we're growing out of our startup phase where we're stair-stepping the market up to where we want it to go to the place where the market actually begins to take over. And that's a double-edged sword. It's good news and it's bad news. It's good news because we want that. Eventually, we want the price to pop. $7, $17, $70, $700. We want all those things. It's bad news because it means that the project is going to begin to move outside of our ability to control or influence it in the direction we want to go. We know that day is going to come. It's going to come sooner rather than later. We want that. We welcome it. We want to keep the ball in our court for as long as we possibly can. Why? So that we can grow. So our roots can go deep and wide. The deeper and the wider the roots grow, the more quality people we attract to our project, the more community we establish, the more likely we are to have a good, solid group of enthusiasts as we go into that next phase and engage the majority of the crypto community, the crypto bros. If you got pinned in a conversation right now with some crypto bro, Bitcoin maximalist, can you hold your own today? Would you know what the rebuttals are going to be to the arguments and accusations that they're going to throw your way? Probably not. Maybe some of you can. I can, but I've been doing this for a really long time, eating and breathing and sleeping it for almost 2 years now. So if you've been on board for 2-3 weeks, that's great. But I'd like you to be here for a little while to understand this stuff before we really engage the crypto bros. Why? So that we have our act together, so that we sound good. We had a booth at the Token 2049 conference. What an amazing festival. Huge. I've never seen anything that big. 5 floors of excitement. No way possible that you could have done the entire event in 2 days. It was a 2-day event, gone. No way possible you could have enjoyed the whole thing in 2 days, plus the speakers, plus everything else. Wow. But we had a booth full of great people, rangers, people that won their way to that competition, that were able to have great conversations, right business right there at the table, to invite the crypto community at large into our camp. And we were able to do that because we had people that have been around long enough to learn the lingo, to understand our basic concepts, to understand the mission, and be able to adequately and accurately communicate those concepts to strangers. We did a good job. And so as we're looking at the market data, and as we're like, kind of licking our wounds saying the price is falling, you got to remember that we're still way ahead of where we want to be. And we're seeing for the first time ever a breakout of real trading happening on our digital asset. I was tuned in a little bit. I like to go through and moderate from time to time in the Telegram channel, and saw people, bragging or complaining about how these markets had some disparity and they were making hundreds of dollars in day trading Texit Coin. Look at the spread. I was buying here and I was selling there. Great. Good for you. You found yet another way to make a profit with Texit Coin. What an amazing thing. That really helps us. We need more traders. We need more participation. We need more arbitrage experts to go there and buy it here and sell it there. Why? Because that's how our market matures. People still look at us and they make fun of us. There's no liquidity there. What an embarrassment. They're not anywhere close to Bitcoin. Yeah, guys, we're still brand new. We're doing really good, but it's still extremely new for us. It's extremely new for the crypto world. We don't in any way expect or say the word like Bitcoin or Ethereum today. We're not even a verified listing on CoinMarketCap yet, but we're starting to see real trading, real engagement by real traders in our market, and that's a great thing. Does it kind of suck that you picked up a handful of coins at $7 and now the market's at $4.50? Yeah, because that's real money. But if you step back and you look at our overall progress as an organization, as a project, you can look at it and say, wow, we're really starting to mature. We've got 5 markets now. We got 4 more coming. We've got real trading. We had our first real pop. If you look over here, it says that the all-time high was $59.92. I don't see it here in the chart. Do you? But I can see this. Sorry, an issue has occurred. So I can see this right here. I can see that there's real trading happening on our market, and that's a really great thing. And that's what we want as we continue to grow up, as our project continues to mature. This is the kind of thing that we're looking for. Moving out of this barcoding, trading back and forth, just swapping, to real trades, real highs, real lows, real market activity, real volume. You can see the volume picking up here. Look at all that volume that's happening. And it goes right back to kind of the beginning of September or mid-September. This is what we want to see. This is our market maturing. And here's the reason why it doesn't matter. Because if you say we know where we're going to 16, look at how silly and inconsequential all the trading in the historical record is. If you zoom out some more and you bring that all the way down to, an $80 target, we haven't even barely moved yet. So remember, the market's young, but the market is beginning to mature. And that's a really great sign. In other related terrible skies falling bad news, what about the sales? Aren't the sales way down? Look at that terrible chart. If you look back historically, it always follows kind of the same pattern. We have a hot week and then it cools off for a couple weeks and then we have a new all-time high. So our all-time high, week 77, $9.87 million. That was when we were wrapping up a couple different promotions. September was big because of the game over giveaway and a bunch of other things. And so, we like a cooling off period. You may not want to see it, but it's real. It's honest. And we need a little bit of time to recover from, all the things that we learn in these record-breaking periods. But again, if you look at the trend, if you look at this line here, we should be kind of over here. And so, maybe we'll hit 7 or 8 million this week and we'll be on, the same course, taking into consideration a little bit of a high there, a little bit of a low, a way big high there, and whatever we're doing so far this week. But I look at it and I see that our project is healthy. I see that our total cash in is huge. I see that our reserves are growing. I see that we're following through and doing the things that we said that we would do, and that we're moving in the right direction. And things are going to be hot sometimes. They're going to be cold sometimes. And we take the good with the bad and we keep moving forward. That's what our project is all about. That's the end of my sky is falling bad news. That's all I had. Mismanaged promotion. And we fired some peeps. Bank accounts, market sales, contest mismanagement, fired some peeps. That's it. That's what I got on my list. Is there anything else you got, Rob, or is it time to jump into our Q&A?
Yeah, let's run through some of these questions.
Do we still place new miners by emailing placement@mytxe.com? Good question. I would say the answer is probably no. I think the right way to do it now is through the back office, creating a ticket there. There's probably an option for placement. If you do it that way, it'll get done quickly. Am I right? Any idea? No idea. I think I'm right. I still don't understand how Cold Coin is offline, as the coin itself only has the private QR receive key, which accesses online account in ? Presumably the Texit computer servers. The coin does not have a hard drive, right? Okay, so let's go over some terminology real quick. Hot wallet is the one that's on your phone. It's connected to the internet. It's real time. It's like a checking account or a debit card. Tap to pay and you're good to go. Cold wallet is offline. Think of it not like a savings account at the bank, but think of it like a safe deposit box at the bank. It's inaccessible. And setting aside something like physical theft, it is safe. Now, what this question says is I still don't understand, but there's a very specific and important manufacturing process that we use when we make these things. You can read about it on coldstoragecoins.com, and it shows you what we do. We've got computers that have never, ever been on the internet. They generate the private key. That key is fed to the lasers. It's laser etched onto the coin. And then at the end of the day, we do a military Department of Defense level wipe on those hard drives that make those keys. So those computers have never been online. The codes have never been online. It is a very, very good, reliable, never failed since day one method for us to have true cold storage. That's what goes onto the coin. That's what makes the coin so important. That's one of the things that makes this project so valuable that we've heard again and again and again, that we focus on physical security at the core of our project. The coins do a great job. As long as you keep the sticker on that coin, and we will never email you and ask you to take the sticker off. We won't text you. We won't telegram you. We won't ask you to do it. If you do get something like that from us, assume it's a scam and please don't do it. But that's how they are offline. Hope that answers your question. Jared says, I have family and friends overseas. I see language about capping non-U.S. miners to 10%. Does that mean if they sign up and elect to be paid in hash, they would be capped as we near closing out the mine? That's right. I never thought about that, Jared. They can sign up and we're capping the signups, but what about rewards? And that's true as well. We would cap those rewards at 10%. So there's 10% out there for foreigners. Come and get it while it's hot. Jim says, when will the ticks for the Enclave party be ready to book? I don't know, Jim, but before we offer those ticks, we're going to have to go back to the drawing board and not mess it up like we did some of the other ones. The other Jim says, I reserved 2 tickets for my wife and me. I just booked a non-refundable hotel. Yeah, we're worried about that. What about people booking flights and travel? Yeah, guys, we're going to go through it. We're going to get in contact with the people that have booked big chunks of tickets and do the best we can to not make this any uglier for us than we already have made it. Question about overseas foreigners. I think we answered that. Are you working towards a holding tank in the back office? We sure are, Penny. That's a top priority for us. We'll be in Bourne, Texas next week. Anyone close? No idea, Brian.
It's burning.
Is Texas going to have a presence at the actual event? I know tickets were a fiasco, but do you have plans for the day? Okay, so this is another important thing that my wife asked me to mention. What we're planning for the 18th is a party near the Formula One event. The reservation of whatever ticket you grabbed is not access to the Formula One event itself. It is access to our party for the Game Over giveaway event. The event is the Formula One race is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We will have something different later for tickets to the Formula One event. Maddie says, how did it go with Donald Trump Jr.? Will your Token 2049 speech get posted, shared? Yeah, guys, we have a little bit of kind of some bad news and correcting to do regarding the Donald Trump Jr. thing. I was invited and ended up being a confirmed guest to go to a closed door session with Trump Jr. That's what it officially was. Now, number one, I was late. I caught all but the last like 3 minutes of it. Singapore traffic took me an hour to go from my hotel down to the convention center where this closed door meeting was taking place. Number one. Number two, the closed door meeting was the same place where Tim gave his speech with a kind of a do not cross this barrier ribbon. That's how closed the closed door was. There were 50, 60 other people in the room. I had 0.0 FaceTime with Donald Trump Jr. There was nothing said in that meeting that was anything different from any of the other crypto stuff that you've heard. USA is the best. We're going to lead the way, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it ended up being a complete non-thing. So I wish that I could come back and say something like, I was so cool, private one-on-one, blah, blah, blah. I am not that cool. It did not happen. I would have turned it down anyway. If that was the case, because guys, you got to remember that we're trying to stay as apolitical as possible. Honest money is for everybody. Everyone can benefit from honest money. I don't care if you're left or right, red or blue, American, Canadian, Mexican, Guatemalan, or Japanese. Everyone on planet Earth can benefit from honest money. Our message, our story, our invitation is for everybody. Now, we have a 10% cap because we do put Texans and Americans first, as we should as Texans and Americans. Now, once we get into phase 3, that will reverse. We'll get to that later. Worry not, but we'll have something for other parts of the world later. Once we prove out that our model is awesome and that this is the way to do proof of work blockchain, then we will move on later to having solutions for other people in other parts of the world that exceed that 10% cap. But again, our message is not a message about politics. Politicians come and they go. Politicians are good and some of them are bad. Some of them are great. Some of them do everything they say. Some of them do none of what they say. We're not political. We're the guys that are working to fix the money. That's the mission that we've chosen. It is not a political mission. When is the capacity being hit per day going to get much closer to where it should be at 120,000 a day? I don't know. Once we get the first container turned on and we see what happens and we stop being led by, like here's an example of what happens right now. Litecoin network difficulty spikes. Our network struggles. We don't produce a new block. We don't produce a new block reward because the Litecoin difficulty went through the roof. And because we have to follow what the Litecoin network does, our little network goes, we just don't have the computing power to keep up. We'll wait. Time goes by. No blocks are produced. The coin output drops. So the real question is, how many coins will our network produce per day once we are exceeding the difficulty that the Litecoin network requires? We don't know. So the answer to your question, anonymous attendee, is 1, we don't know, or 2, we will know more once we have the network operating at a much higher capacity. How big? Well, 1 megawatt would be a great start. But even then, we might need 2 megawatts before we see a difference. So we're going to keep an eye on it. And if we need to make an adjustment down the road, we will. When the new mines get set up and running and the hash power increases, will that increase the output? We think so, Heidi, but we're not sure. We will keep an eye on it. I can get all the TXC you need, Bobby. Check your text or get with Eddie or call me, says Justin. Thanks, Justin. Hopefully,
Send me some. I'll take some.
Yeah, hopefully you got it through some sort of honorable method. Jim says it would be great if the system allowed you to use the same USDC address for USDC commissions on all 3 spots for a builder. I don't know the reason this isn't allowed. Maybe there is a good reason. I think we fixed it where you can.
Ooh.
Anybody want to check it out? The system now bundles together commissions that are going to the same address. try it out. And if not, let's make a note to get that feature improved. One of the reasons we have it right now is to just make sure that people don't make a mistake. Oh, I put my friend's USDC address in. My bad. I think a real way to teach people crypto, as Bobby said, is to liaise with Uniswap to turn our pool to a rewards pool. I don't know how to do that, but I will look into that. Byron says $3K per ranger per month for marketing money for the entire team. Yeah, it's $180,000 a month. We got quite a few rangers now. Although I can no longer take peer payments, I can still place miners that are not on my team, but in my downline with the pay with the other options. Is that a question, Grace? Not sure. Jarrett, Robbie, did you see my question about non-US miners? I think we covered that. Get in touch with me. Jason has my contact info. Okay, Sean. This would teach people how to go from TXC to WTXC to sending this to Uniswap where they learn to swap and create liquidity. Remember, you can go to wtxc.texitcoin.org and also do a swap right there. DeGel says it's a great idea to promote cryptocurrency as the only payment method for purchasing miners. Partnering with Tangem could take this to the next level. Look, guys, when we were in Singapore, my top priority was to find new onboarding partners. And there are hundreds of them, but they never seem to last very long. And even the ones that say we're fully integrated with Visa don't always work because the banks block it, right? So it's impossible to find one provider that's going to work for everybody. What we're going to do is we're going to continue to evaluate things. We have to be really careful with the recommendations that we make, because if we say, yep, you can use this service provider, and then they go bankrupt and freeze all your money, we got to watch out for liability in that one. We don't think we're liable giving you a recommendation, but hey, what do I know? So yeah, there are lots of options out there. We're going to continue to explore them, continue to evaluate them, continue to push new people in the right area. But we've got a big community now of people that are familiar with these things as well. And so you guys can be making those recommendations. If you've got a great bank account, a great Coinbase account, and you want to sell some USDC to your people so that they can sign up through the front door, great. We'd appreciate that. Do you know why CoinMarketCap only shows like 165 holders of Texit? I do know why. You know why that is? And it's annoying. It's because when they put our wrapped coin market data in here, this right here, they put the contract address for the wrap in there. And so it started treating us like a token. And so one of the things we'll have to do as we get into verified is to get them to take that value out, because we are not a token and we have way more than 168 holders. But that's
Good
why it
question.
didn't happen. Hopefully that answers your question. I'm sure it does. Emily says, do you know why? Okay. People have amazing consumption when they don't have to pay out of their own pockets. Look at the fiscal cliff. People have amazing consumption. Yeah, that's true. Bobby, Coinbase and Kroken are definitely not friendly. Tangem is a great option for now, maybe, and very safe. Yeah, I actually got a Tangem card the other day. It was funny because we were at the event and I was messing with them, and they're like, "Yeah, just once you get it set up, do a small transfer." So I sent $10,000 to it to like just mess around with it. She's like, "That's not a small transfer." I'm like, "Well, let's see if your product works," and it did. But we are working on custom Tangem cards because they're pretty cool.
Oh, cool.
And we just need more options. Guys, I don't really trust any of this stuff. If you like it, if you evaluate it, you want to use it, you can. So we got to be careful. When is the gold going to be added to the Path to 16 article? We're going to get some pictures and we're going to beavis it. It's actually a good reminder because I should have done that already. And then once that's done, then I will share that with you and update the website. I assume that 5 million he was just talking about is included in that, probably, Stacy. And I'm glad you're paying attention. Ken says, how do I get a QR code to pay for an upgrade of one of my downline miners in my back office? Ken, I don't know. But we're probably going to have to look into that, because the back office stuff is good and it is great that you guys know how to do it, but we're going to need to give you more things that you can pay for, like the 54 pack. What does cash potential mean under profile? Cash potential should really probably say commission potential, but what it means is you can't take out more than you brought in. We take all the people that you've sponsored and the points they have, we multiply those points by 1,000, and that becomes your cash potential. So the more people you sponsor or the more points that they are worth, the more your cash potential will be. Then when it comes time for commission, if you take a $3,000 or $1,000 commission, it deducts that from your cash potential. So let's say you sign up your 3 left and your 3 right. Each one of them buys 1 pack. You got $6,000 cash potential. You qualify for $1,000 commission. Now you've got a $5,000 cash potential to start the next week. Look up more info on the help desk. When will it be on Coinbase? Hopefully someday. But again, guys, Coinbase isn't a friend. They might not ever be a friend. That would make it very easy for our American friends to get on and trade. But ultimately, we want to make it easy for our international friends to get on and trade. What's the bad news? That's all good news. Yeah, I know. I know that our bad news is quite often good news. But it's for you to evaluate whether the news is bad or good. I just give it to you. Okay, so the car winners, we've got them. I would like to say a big fat congratulations to Joe. And these are in a particular order. Desmond, Gage, Lita, Lita, Josh, Jason, Stuart, Mike, Nelson, and Frank. Good job. Very, very, very well done. We've got a super car with your name on it. We are going to start to get in contact with these people to see if they want to join us at the event, see which car they're likely to choose so that we can start, start getting these specifics to fall into place and make this event as great as it possibly can be for them and for the other people. Now, remember, we've got 24 additional vehicles. In fact, we probably have 17 more? No, 17 more in hand. And they're all great. We don't have a single thing here that I wouldn't be proud to drive around. We've got probably 7 more to go. And I've told Robbie, stop it. We're spending too much time on this. We need to move on and continue managing our business. So if you win a car and you're not around to pick it up, we'll send you a notice. We'll let you know to go out and pick something out at a local dealership and get it wrapped. But we've got all the cars that we are going to bring to the event in Austin on the 18th, and we would love to see 300 of you there. Ken, your name is not on the list. But you could still win. Remember, we've got 24 other cars to give away. Are tours of the mine still on pause? Yeah, they are. We're going to get Victoria online, and then as soon as Victoria's online, we will start rescheduling tours. And then it'll be a lot more fun. Did y'all finalize the Lambo? Yes, we did. How is the raffle going? We don't know yet. We're still working on figuring out exactly how we're going to do the other giveaways. What is holding up CoinMarketCap from validating us? They said it takes about 2 weeks. We paid the fee. We step back now. We let them go through and do their evaluation. We don't want to make too much noise. Let them do it. And if they don't get it done in a timely manner, we will start to hassle them. Top holders on CoinMarketCap seems way off. It is. Helen says, how do we get you on Joe Rogan? We're not ready for that yet. It would be cool, and it hopefully will happen someday, but that day is not yet here. Outside of the top 10 game over winners, what are the qualifications? We don't know yet, but it will be based to some extent on people who have sponsored, people who have gotten 1-2 frees, of which there are quite a few. Terry says, why not add an addition day to your event and then allow everyone to come to that? We've thought about doing that as well. We could do something else on Sunday. It's really just a matter of finding a big enough venue to hold everyone, and we don't know. We could put together a list of interests for a second event. But again, it's a lot of work doing these things, and we want to continue to do a good job, and we will do as much as we can that we know that we're going to do well. Isaac says, can you liaise with Uniswap so we have a reward pool? We'll look at that. Have you found a new designer yet? No, not yet. Where can I send my resume? I don't know, Frank. What do you do? Are you familiar with the story of the Bitcoin mine in Granbury and how it's affecting the locals? We are very familiar with that. What is Texit's approach to minimize the effects of the environment? Well, really the biggest angle that we've got is immersion cooling. When you're doing anything that's air cooled, it creates a lot of noise because you need a lot of fans and air circulation. With immersion cooling, there's almost no noise whatsoever. And so that's a big, big, big difference. Once the first container is installed in Victoria, I'll know if the sound decibel level is low enough where we can actually put the second container at the farm in McKinney. That would be cool for tours.
Way cool.
A bunch of questions from Robin. Is TXC a stablecoin? No, but it sure does feel that way. 2, are TXC purchases private or reported to the government? That depends on what exchange you use, I guess. If you buy it on Coinbase somehow, I'm guessing that the government would know. If you buy it on some rinky-dink dark web exchange, you're probably good to go. If we spend TXC to store, that accepts it. Look, the government's got access to crypto, blockchains, the same way you and I do. So if they figure out which wallet is yours and they track your wallet work, then you've got, you know, some privacy issues there to worry about. You got to remember, Robin, that crypto wasn't designed to be private. It was designed to be transparent, which is kind of the opposite. You know, it's like, which one's more important to you? If transparency and an honest, accountable monetary system is important to you, TexitCoin's your coin. If privacy and like doing nefarious things on the dark web is important to you, you're probably going to want to use like Monero or whatever the other one is. Is our cold storage wallet secure from the government confiscating it? No. The government busts down your front door and goes through your sock drawer and finds the cold storage wallet. They may confiscate it. Let's hope that day doesn't come. Yes, Bobby, placing miners on my team downline, not just my personals. For example, I can place and enroll someone else in my downline. That's great. Rumor that we might be able to hold TXC on Ledger soon. That is a good rumor.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is a good rumor. Yeah. Met the integration specialist from Ledger. And let me see if I can find the text chat. They sent 2 messages earlier today. Here's the questionnaire that they have for integrating. It's going to cost us a couple bucks, but I think it's a really good idea. And they want an NDA as well, so I didn't just show you that. So it may be coming soon. If we can make that happen, we certainly will. Again, guys, we're not recommending ledgers. We're not recommending Trezors. We like cold storage coins. Why? Because I make them. I put my name and my reputation and maybe even my life on the line when it comes to producing those things. Everything else is anyone's guess. But that is a good rumor, Brandon. Jared says, any thoughts on a roadmap to mine off natural gas to lower electrical costs? No. Job number 1 right now is get container number 1 plugged in, turned on, connected to the grid and working. As soon as we get ourselves out of mining hash power hot water, then we can start thinking long-term and evaluating some of those greener options like recuperating some stranded gas. Hello, Legend. Can we get a cold storage in... Hello, Legend? Is that my new nickname?
I like it.
Awful to Legend. I'll take it. Can we get cold storage in Australia? I want a coin. Yeah, guys, look, now that we're getting caught up on cold storage coin production, we've got extra coins in inventory. We want to start sending those out all over the world so that you can have one actually in your neck of the woods. It'd be very cool. It's been a long time since we became a miner. Have still not received our coins. How are we doing with the backlog? I don't know, Michael. I don't think we're too backlogged these days. Rob, any idea how long our backlog is?
Are we talking the coin shipment is 2 to 3 weeks?
Still 2 to 3 weeks. Michael, if it's been longer than that and you haven't gotten a notification or you have gotten a notification, then reach out. Thank you for everything you do. Robbie, thank you. That's one for you, Robbie. Robbie, thank you for everything you do on the live Zoom. Hey, Bobby, I just wanted you to know, I want to know which day is the Halloween party. It's on Halloween. How old do I have to be to win? I don't know. You should probably be old enough to drive, probably 18 or older. How are you planning to deepen liquidity on Uniswap and the sexes so the price isn't so jumpy? Well, I can't deepen it on the sell side. I can deepen it on the buy side, but I think we've got enough on the sexes so far that the price isn't droppy. As far as jumpy is concerned, that's on you guys. And I'm always telling you, we don't have enough sellers. Remember that? We don't have enough sellers. That's what prevents the price from getting too jumpy. I prevent it from getting too droppy. You prevent it from getting too jumpy. Where do we go to see where and how we can win a car? That ship has sailed. LCH is standing by to set the containers. Who is LCH? Lone Charlie Hotel? Last something standing? Last chicken? I don't know.
Like last chicken hatched?
Do you physically need to be there to win a car in the raffle? No. We will let you know if you won. Do the top 10. We might even pre-raffle it, by the way. Because if you won, we want you to be there to pick it out. Do the top 10 in the Lambo tickets reserved for the awesome party? Yes, they do. We have 100 tickets that we held back, kind of pre-expecting us to have more demand than supply. So yeah, our staff will be okay. The Rangers will be okay. The winners will be okay. But we're going to work through what we can to make sure that the tickets are being well used. That's really the goal. The goal isn't to exclude the tickets, to make sure that, you know, if you say you're going to be there, you actually show up. So we might do something like ask for $1 million deposit for tickets more than 4. Is there any marketing material to promote this opportunity other than what might be what maybe a team member made. Do you have the little trifold brochure? Do you have the sweet glossy brochure with the picture of this guy here on the back cover? That's what we got. Are the minors unlimited, or is there a point where we'll stop selling seats? Ooh, Madeline, if you don't know the answer to that question, you might be on the wrong rocket. 1 million seats. There's a limited supply of seats. We're building 100 million meg hash mine. That's it. Then it's over. Is there a discount code for us on coldstoragecoins.com? You can't even buy right now on coldstoragecoins.com. I love my fearless leader.
I saved that
Who
for you.
were, but I'm married. Robbie Rue, your answer on the hash power for the 27 pack did not make any sense. Thanks, Robbie Rue. Respectfully, can you please provide a straight answer on how much hash power comes with the 27? Makes sense that it would be 3,300. You answered 3,100 elsewhere. Is that true?
So you buy the 9, you get 2 free.
Uh-huh.
And then you get your bonus nodes that are already 100 hash, right? So then you buy another 5 plus 1. So you end up right around 3,100 hash.
It's 9 plus new, 9 plus new, 9 plus 2.
So 3,300.
33. Yeah, you can put the 9 plus 2 here and the 9 plus 2 there and the 9 plus 2 there.
Okay.
Can you discuss how liquid Texit Coin is today? Well, we went through, Jason, the charts on the website. You got to go on CoinMarketCap. You got to go to the individual exchanges to look at the actual liquidity that's in there. What you can know that's not stated there is we've got an extra $5 million backing up whatever you see on the exchanges. We haven't had to tap into it yet. It's been good. Bobby, are the miners unlimited, or is there? Wait, we have already answered that. You mentioned that there's training on how to trade. Where we find it? Ooh, you got to go to the help desk. Help.mindtxe.com. There's a lot of stuff there, especially on trading. How do I apply for a job? Wants to know Val. It depends on what you do. Reach out to Robbie Rue. Hey, Bobby, thanks for reaching out to me on Telegram the other day. Was it really you? Probably not. I don't reach out to anybody. I very rarely answer anybody on Telegram. Ranger qualification coming soon from a Tim near you. Tim was not feeling well. He dipped out on this call. Bobby, get in touch with me later this week. I'll solve your container issues and monitoring. I spoke to you about this before, but was referred to Eddie and then Ron. Let's do this ourselves. Yeah, Sean, as far as that is concerned, give us a couple days to figure out which end is up. Any update on, and then we can reconnect. Any update on the mini Doge and the 21 home mines going and about payout? No update yet. We have had some major advancements. If you want to know what I'm picking at here, it's my very, very angry peeling back that was sun poisoned the other day.
Did you get too much sun?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It happened quick.
That's not good.
Sorry, I'm reading ahead with the people that are telling me that they fell in love with me. I love that. Love you. Keep politics out of Texit. Val, the feeling's mutual. I probably love you too. I don't know you, but I probably love you. If you love honest money like I love honest money, then we probably love each other. We get along just fine. Okay. Lakeisha, hi there. Future Ranger here in Waxahachie. That's right. You are a future Ranger. Maybe not so distant in the future than you and I both know. I'm having issues with hosting my meetings because the reimbursement tab has been removed and my Ranger is capped out with the $3,000 limit. Should I begin to slow down? No. No. N-O. No. Just ask somebody at the office to re-enable your reimbursements. Look, like I said earlier, if we know you, if we like you, if we trust you, we're happy to give you access. We're happy to give you reimbursements. We're happy to give you the budget, right? If you're doing a good job, we want to keep pouring fuel on that fire. So do not slow down. N-O. 2 more meetings scheduled this month. Go. Do them. Wait, are there more plus 2s when you go to 27? No. Will you post the cardless winners? Yes. Can you expand upon the 54K buy-ins? Look, there's not really a 54, okay? We called it a backdoor 27, and then somebody made it into a 54. Why? Because if you buy, let's say 9 seats, we give you the ability to buy up to $9,000 of Texit Coin from the main office. So then somebody's like, well, I can buy 27 if I go through the back door and add 9 plus 2 and 9 plus 2. Okay. How does that get to 54? Look, it's a mess. We don't know. Contact your sponsor or a ranger. They can maybe give you some more information about it. But it's anyone's guest house if or how that actually happens. Can I upgrade to 5 miners to get 1 free? Even if I have 2 miners right now, you can, as long as it's within the first 30 days. If you signed up yesterday and you got 2 and you want to add 3 more, and it's within 30 days, we'll give you that 5+1 promo. After 30 days, you can buy the 5+1, but then you'd have 7+1, which would be a lot. 10, they tell me. Larry says, this is the best opportunity since I have Bitcoin under $100. Of course, I didn't hodl. Look, don't hodl Texit Coin forever. Thank you for saying that's the best opportunity. Thank you for being a supporter of our project. But really, we want to create a new phrase for the industry called like spendle or tradle or useal. You got to remember Gresham's law. And Gresham's law is really important because the same thing already happened to Bitcoin. Bad money pushes out good money. I'm going to save my Texit Coin and I'm going to spend my dollars. Wait, we want you to spend your Texit Coin. Or come phase 2, we want you to spend your layer 2. If you want to hold on to the Texit Coin to pay your gas transaction fees, or you want to hold on to your Texit Coin as kind of a store of value, that's okay. But remember, the cryptocurrency is only a currency if you're using it, and spending it, and trading it, right? When do you cash out? When you have the ability to take that Texit Coin and turn it into something that has a positive impact on your life that's more valuable than the zeros and ones that are the Texit Coin. If you can take your Texit Coin and sell it at a profit and buy a house for the first time for your family, that's huge. If you can take it and buy yourself a boat so you can go fishing on the weekends, that's huge. If you can buy a car, if you can pay off your credit card debt. Remember the most important thing about this whole money-making excitement thing, the when Lambo stuff? It's not about who gets rich next. It's about who gets free next. That's what we're doing. We're freeing our minds from this prison that is inflation-based fiat currency, and we're freeing ourselves from being trapped in a system where our money keeps going down in value, and we have to keep working harder and harder and harder to keep pace. That's what we're trying to get free from. The moment you have an opportunity to do that, sell. How do we know when there are any events going on in Houston? I don't know. Holly says I'm very cute, and she is right. Once you make me rich, you'll be even cuter. Yeah, you're probably right about that. I don't want to get stuck on that too long. But look, we value the things that have a positive impact on our lives. And so, yeah, my head is getting bigger and bigger and bigger with all your kind words. But what I have to stop and pause and at least appreciate from time to time is that this thing that I created, that we've made successful together, has a positive impact on a reach and level that I can no longer comprehend. People will stop me now randomly out in public and say, thanks, man. Paid off the credit cards. Thanks, man. Whatever the example is. And so I take great joy in knowing that I've been able to do something. I've connected some synapses in my brain, and that resulted in you having a better day today. That's what crypto rich is for me. Crypto rich for me is knowing that I have the ability to do what I want when I want without having to check my bank account first. And if you get to that point too, and you think I'm a handsome guy, Johnny says, okay. Can I upgrade to the backdoor 27 if I already have some on mine already? You sure can. Just log into your second and third spots and add the hash power right there. In the
last one.
At 2 hours and 3 minutes, what is the age to be able to win a car? Sorry, I asked this question, but I went off because I had to go get a car. Look, guys, I think standard basics apply. You got to be 18. We can't give the Lambo to some like 12-year-old
8-year-old.
along with like a bottle of whiskey and say, good luck. We're going to award it to, there's another question from Grace. Sorry, I wasn't clear. I have miners that pay with USDC and Texit Coin to place them. So I want to know if I can still place other miners. It's coming soon. If it's not available, then send a message in to the help desk through the back office. How active is Texit Coin being used today? Key milestones, too much for us to get into at the end of the call, Jason. Just remember, we're on phase 1, which is build the mine. Where are the recordings of these meetings? In the back office, we are catching up on the last couple of weeks. AJ was our wonderful assistant out in Thailand, where we had a spectacular time, and we would love to see you on a Freedom Field trip in the not so distant future. The next big one is going to be Europe in January. Okay. Contest rules coming soon. Rob, anything to mention before we say goodnight?
I think we're good, man. 2 hours and 4 minutes.
I'm happy, guys. You gotta remember. Don't lose the forest for the trees. We are doing extremely well. We've raised $85.5 million. It's an incredible amount. It's one of the biggest projects ever in the history of the crypto industry. They don't even know it yet. We're doing really well. I'm very happy with us. Our job now is to manage the business. Our job is to protect the goose that lays the golden egg. Our job is to not let this beautiful thing that we've created slip through our fingers like the other guys did. That's our challenge. That's the work. That's hard work. We've got a team of great people in place now, but we need you to be great as well. We need you to share our story honestly, ethically with your community. We need you to be a little bit patient with us as we deal with the growing pains and the learning experiences that we're going through. We need to continue to come back together on these Tuesday night calls and share the good and the bad. Transparency is at the very core of what makes this project great.
Absolutely.
Bobby Gray, I'm the guy that's lucky enough to call himself the founder and fearless leader of Texit Coin. I really appreciate your time, and I will catch you guys again soon in an upcoming call. Have a great night.